Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. UFC 319 just ended. I have so many thoughts on this card. Prelims kind of sucked, so we're gonna try to skim through them a little bit. So anyhow, let's start off with Alibi Idiris versus Joseph Morales. I actually didn't really watch this full fight. I signed on a little too late, but I saw the end where Alibi Idiris got submitted. I don't know exactly how that happened, but that wasn't the outcome I expected at all. Anyhow, I think we all forgot about that one already, so let's move on to the next one. Karine Silva versus Dione Barbosa. I actually picked Dione Barbosa to win, and I felt that she was winning, to be honest. Like, I felt like she was winning on the feet. She was winning on the ground. I feel like, especially in round one, Dione Barbosa was winning. And then in round two, Karine Silva realized she had not much chance on the feet, so she went straight for the takedown. And I guess like that's where she got her points, where she just was able to land strikes from the ground. But I actually thought that fight like went to Barboza, but yeah. That's actually why I picked her to win, because I was like, dude, Karine Silva just like a bit too slow. And also I don't think she's going to out-grapple this black belt judoka, which I don't think she did, but I guess she got points for damage from those positions. Anyhow, weird decision in my opinion, but let's move on to the next one. Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. This was so sad to watch, and also like the whole time I was just remembering Edson Barbosa's last fights where he did the exact same thing. Where he just kind of ate a bunch of damage and didn't fight back when I felt like he could have. Like, I feel like he has the skills, and then he just freezes up and eats shit, kind of. I don't know if that's because he's old or what, but that's basically kind of what happened here. There are moments in this fight where Drakkar was just pressuring and Edson just froze and just ate a bunch of damage. And yeah, he just lost that decision. I felt like in round 3, he was starting to kind of do something, but I don't know. It took too long for him to get to that point. And yeah, he lost. So anyhow, guys, let's move on to the next one. Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. This was interesting. I think Chase was not doing too bad on the feet, actually, the entire round. But since he is young and unexperienced, I think that's maybe the main reason for this, but he just got fucking jabbed straight in the face and flopped. So I don't know what to say. I actually felt like he would get the win, because I felt like he'd be able to manage the distance well enough, but he just didn't see that coming, I guess, and just got KO'd. Okay, let's move on to the next one, guys. Jessica Andrade versus Lupita Godinez. I also thought Jessica Andrade would do better here. I picked her to win, but mostly because I felt like maybe there would be moments in this fight where like Lupi just wouldn't activate her fight IQ, but she actually found a lot of success on the feet. I don't know. Jessica Andrade just kind of looked a bit old, and it almost seemed like she also activated herself in the third round. You know, in the third round, I was finally starting to see her land some strikes. I was finally seeing her do the thing that she normally does, which is like hunt her opponent down and pressure them. But like that version of her was not active in rounds 1 and 2, so she lost. Nothing I have to say. Nothing else to say on that. So let's go to the next one. Gerald Meerschaert versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. My God, Gerald Meerschaert kind of like looked terrible here. How many times was it that he just fell over on his back in this semi-fetal position, like hoping that Michal would just jump on top of him, I guess, hoping that he would find like an armbar or something from that position. They just ended up standing him up each time that happened. And eventually, Michal just knocked him down and finished him off on the ground. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Why I don't fully remember that. I don't know. I think I just got too excited by the fights that came next, but it was a pretty good KO for Michal Oleksiejczuk. He actually looked really good on the feet. Like, there were significant improvements in the way that he moved, and he only jumped on Gerald Meerschaert like at a time where he knew it wasn't gonna be that bad or dangerous. Not like what happened with the Kevin Holland fight. But yeah, R.I.P. Gerald Meerschaert, 3 minutes in. I wish he didn't like, you know, hang it like roll to his back each time something got weird or threatening. Like, I don't know why he did that. But maybe I missed something in the fight. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Baisangur Susurkaev versus Eric Nolan. Well, we all had Baisangur Susurkaev, but I think we were also all expecting a first round finish. It seemed like he actually really... I was getting kind of worried. Like, I was surprised that he was eating so many shots. Also, oddly enough, he was like laughing about it after the fight ended, and also during the whole thing in general. But he ended up successfully taking down Eric Nolan in the second round and getting like a really clean rear naked choke. So, I don't know. It almost seemed like Eric Nolan was way too like relieved by like the finish. Like, I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't even trying to defend it at that point. Anyhow, guys, Baisangur Susurkaev won. Let's move on to the main card finally. This is, I think, where all of the greatness happened, where all of the entertainment was. Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. I thought Kai Asakura would win, and honestly, he was doing pretty well on the feet. He was significantly faster. And I thought he'd be pretty decent in the grappling department too. But I feel like within such a short time of getting Kai Asakura down to the ground, like Tim Elliott was able to submit him so quickly, which made me like really concerned for Kai's like ground ability. I don't know. Like, I couldn't tell if it was because Tim Elliott was really good or if Kai Asakura just really sucked on the ground. Anyhow, let's move on to the next one, guys. Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. I thought this was actually a really fun fight. Mostly because MVP was just like in full meme mode for the first 2 rounds. Basically doing his little dance, you know, his good old MVP snake dance. and Cannonier just had no idea what to do with this. He was kind of confused the whole time, wasn't landing his shots, missing the things he was, like his kicks and his jabs and everything. And also MVP had a pretty good takedown defense. Like, there were times when Jared Cannonier tried to take him down and just failed. All that really happened was that he held him against the cage, and so eventually MVP was able to like escape from that. But in the third round, I guess MVP got like too cocky and confident. He's probably thinking like, what's this old man gonna do to me? And so he got taken down and also couldn't get back up. So do not be fooled, guys. MVP still has no ground game, but his takedown defense is pretty decent. But yeah, it would be interesting to see him against someone who's actually like a better grappler. I mean, we saw what happened even just with Ian Gary. So anyhow, guys, let's move on to the next one. Geoff Neal versus Carlos Prates. This entire first round, I couldn't really tell who was winning up until Carlos Prates got that crazy spinning back fist. Up until Carlos Prates got that crazy back elbow right at the end of the fight. That was so crazy. He landed that elbow and then the bell rang and Geoff Neal was just starfished on the ground for some time. I feel like, you know, getting hit with an elbow like that to your temple not only is like one of the quickest trains you can take to CTEville, but also maybe like a new little not a life hack, but like a shortcut to getting a finish if you can land one properly. But yeah, that was a super dope finish. I thought that might get like fight of the night. And then the next fight happened, guys. This was the 9th spinning elbow in the entirety of UFC history. But then came the next fight, Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico actually didn't look too bad for the first 2 minutes. 3 minutes, I guess. Until he got fucking KO'd the same exact way that Geoff Neal got KO'd. It was almost comical. Aaron Pico started off really aggressively, went straight for like a takedown. but also was doing damage. And then up against the cage, Leroy Murphy just like spinning back elbowed him as well. Same way that Carlos Prates did to Geoff Neal, but this was, I feel like, even cleaner. This was such a clean shot. And Aaron Pico's face was just right there to receive it. Now no one can say that Leroy Murphy is a boring fighter. He did not take this fight to decision. Got that KO in like 3.5 minutes, so I don't know. Dude, seeing two of those KOs in a row was like kind of weird in the best way possible. But like, yeah, just strange. It was making me believe that the outcome of the last fight might be different than what it was actually, because this whole card was kind of strange. But yeah, guys, the last fight. Let's move on. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. I kind of knew what was going to happen in this fight, and it's kind of what happened. I actually, not exactly. I felt like Khamzat was going to win for sure in a dominant way, but I didn't think it would go the way that it did. DDP basically got taken down instantly in the first round, and this kept happening. Like, anytime they got separated or anytime he got back up, Khamzat just went and shot for another takedown and got it effectively. It seemed to me that straight from the get-go, Dricus was like, oh, I didn't prepare for this level of wet blanketing. I did not expect this. As much as I thought I expected this, I did not. And this basically just went on for the entirety of the fight. There were actually a few moments on the feet, like moments, literally moments, because Khamzat did not make that last. Anything that was on the feet basically turned into a takedown within seconds. But Dricus wasn't actually doing too bad on the feet when it was on the feet. Like, he did land some shots. And I noticed that, like, that made Khamzat extremely uncomfortable and, like, obviously made him want to take it to the ground immediately. And, you know, there were so many of you in my comments saying that this was, like, a boring trash fight. But I don't know. I would disagree. Like, maybe it wasn't the most entertaining fight, but I think it was still, like, enjoyable on a level, you know? People were saying that, like, oh, Khamzat was just on top of him, hugging him. But I don't think that's exactly how it went, because he was always active and, like, they were often, you know, changing positions. I think it was more, like, dependent on Dricus's defense, which I also think was pretty good. I think actually defensively he did really well and just did a good job at surviving. And I almost feel like Khamzat just kind of matched that energy in a way. Like, he felt like there was no need to do more, I guess. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I also totally understand the emotions of everyone who's, like, saying that this was a boring fight and, like, you know, we wanted to see more action. Because that's kind of how I felt about Pereira versus Ankalaev, you know? But I don't think this was the same situation, because with Pereira versus Ankalaev literally just neutralized him by holding him against the cage. Like, that shit was legit boring. Like, that was actually boring. Because nothing was happening, nothing was developing. He was just holding him against the cage. There was just no movement, you know? He was basically just doing everything he could to secure the win. And in a way, I guess you could say Chimaev did the same thing. So I understand why some of you guys are upset, but I also don't think this is exactly the same situation. Dricus himself said at the end that he felt that Khamzat just knew what his next move was going to be. And we saw that too, because he basically was just shifting with him. You know, because, you know, Dricus obviously prepared for having to grapple with him. I think he thought he would have more success. And, you know, he just didn't have the answers that he needed to get out of those positions. But I think for me, where the, like, enjoyment of this fight came in was probably just the shock factor of how it all played out. I didn't expect Khamzat to just be on him the entire time. I thought we were going to see maybe more on the feet or, more scrambles. I didn't think it was just going to be Khamzat on top of Dricus for 5 fucking rounds straight. Yeah. Especially if you really had your heart set on Dricus winning and, you wanted to see some display of what he's learned, like what he's accomplished in his training camp. I can see how this could be disappointing for you, but I feel like I've seen a lot of like actual boring grapplers that do just hug you and keep you in a position. And I guess I could see that argument for those moments where Khamzat had him in the crucifix position, because that was like, okay, well, you got him there, and now you're just kind of like trying to baby smash the side of his head. Like, it's not really, like, I could see the argument for those moments of the fight, but when he wasn't just completely pinned down with nowhere to go, I thought it was fun to watch. I mean, I don't know, I don't know if fun is the word, but I thought I enjoyed watching it personally. Okay, I enjoyed watching it, but I might have also been watching it for different reasons than you guys too. I think everyone had their own expectations from this fight, and maybe that's why your people are so disappointed with the outcome, is because you came into it with too many expectations, and the fight didn't meet your expectations. That's okay. I've seen boring fights, guys. I don't think this qualifies as a boring fight. Maybe you guys will feel that way too once you sleep on it. But yeah, I think it was a good win for Khamzat. During the last 30 seconds of the fight, that's when we saw some more like scrambling, because I think they both realized they could kind of go harder now because it's the end of the fight, and they no longer have to pace themselves. And we did see a moment where Khamzat was in a bit of danger, but at the same time, it was never too definitive. And again, I think overall DDP could have prepared better for this fight. There was also like obviously a lack of ability on his end on the ground. Like, he just didn't have answers where he could have had answers. But yeah, to all the people that are saying that there wasn't enough on the feed and they should have gotten separated, I guess. But if you're getting separated and then just like instantly getting taken down and you can't get back up, like, I don't know, man. It was like that definitely wasn't Torres Finney style neutralization, I think people will come around to that once the fucking emotions simmer down. But yeah, anyhow, those are the thoughts I have for this fight. Let me know what you guys thought. I'm sure I will receive a lot of conflicting opinions in the comments below, but I'm still curious. Everyone has their own perspectives and everyone absorbs information differently, so let me know, and I will see you guys on the next one. Yeah. I should have been saying all this while I was doing my ball ritual, but since I didn't, I'll just do it now in silence. Okay, thank you guys again for watching. Like and subscribe. You can also become a member of this channel if you want. We have 2 different tiers. 2 different tiers? I'm just kidding. Anyways, see you guys next time. I hope that you also enjoyed this card. There were some good fights. A lot of weird shit too, but a lot of good fights as well. So see you on the next one. Bye.